Aloha, this is Aja Eyre with Maui Pono Network, bringing your weekly update for the week of September 25th. We hope this video update finds you well and in a safe place, and we appreciate your interest and concern with our county governance. So some of the things that came up this last week, the mayor did make a public statement that is available to watch on our website. And we really encourage you to watch it, especially at the beginning. It starts with a short memorial to those who have passed on because of the fires. Really touching. That's a great thing to watch, and feel that remorse and that mourning with our community, and to honor those who've passed on. The other thing that's mentioned in that, I mean, there's lots of things mentioned, but I'm just trying to highlight something else. Definitely watch it, but just October 4th, he did announce this, that October 4th is when people who've lost residences are going to be able to go back to those residences and sift through the debris if they wish to do that, or take samples. I have, again, I've lost a home in a wildfire. There's not, for a lot of people, there's not going to be a lot there, but it is still very therapeutic if you have the health and the capability to do that. So we understand if people want to go do that. Just a reminder, you need to wear PPE. So that's going to be a mask. It's going to be boots if you have them. Don't go in your slippers. There's going to be a lot of sharp objects in there. You want to have thick, heavy duty gloves. You want to make sure that when you're done, you take off all your clothes before you get into your car, and then wash those immediately. There's a lot of burnt toxins when a home is burnt. So you don't want to be ingesting or breathing those in as best as you can. And a lot of glass burns, and a lot of the metal will burn, but there will also still be unburnt sharp objects. So just be really careful. It's good to take buckets instead of bags. So that's just my experience. There's some really great, actually, some great resources online to look at what to do when you go to a home that's burned, how to dress and how to be systematic about it. That'll be unfolding, and for those of you who have lost residences, I'm sure that you know that this is going to be a long process. The mayor also mentioned a lot of people who've been helpful during the fires. There were also people that were noticeably not mentioned. So watch the video, let us know what you think. But we're glad that came out from the county and from the mayor's administration. Okay, the next thing that has been happening, you might have heard the chatter, or maybe you've been thinking about it yourself, but the county definitely needs a brush mitigation plan. There is an ordinance on the book, and that's in our laws, that large landowners are not to allow brush to overgrow and become a fire hazard, and it's their responsibility and their financial responsibility to make sure that their land is not a fire hazard. However, as we know that this doesn't happen, it is really challenging. It's challenging somewhere where things grow so quickly to stay on top of that. There is a citizens group forming. It's a citizens working group that will be approaching this problem, looking at it, looking how to get the county to help the landowners to get on top of that. So that'll be happening. We'll keep you updated on it. Don't have a ton more information, but if you are interested in that, reach out to us and we'll get you in touch with the people that are putting that together. Another noteworthy thing that's happened is there are still 7 hubs operating on the west side. And some of the hubs, there were more hubs than that. Is like the first awesome, incredible local driven hub at the Kahana boat ramp is, it served its purpose. We all know that was critical because they were able to get supplies in immediately by boat. But that one's kind of fading away. There's some very organized, well-stocked hubs that are still operating. One at Napili, Sheraton. There's one that LA Cochrane is running or helping run on Lahaina Luna. That it's a big circus tents and Quonset huts. Just a reminder, if you're dealing with loss, if you're dealing with struggles, even if it's a loss of a job or loss of income, those hubs are there for you. Please allow yourself to be helped. The rest of the community, I know we're all dealing with our own loss, but we want to be able to help you. So please come. Don't feel worried about coming and asking for what you need. And just a big thank you to those who have tirelessly worked to keep those hubs running. It's been really heartwarming and amazing. All right, and this Wednesday, September 27th, the Great Committee is continuing their meeting. Now, this is a meeting this is actually the third meeting because they've had a lot of testimony. It's been kind of crazy, but they're trying to put together a resolution about what the Lahaina future looks like from the county council. So that's the Great Committee is in the county council, and they're trying to put this together. And there have been a lot of testimonies at the last couple meetings. This one on Wednesday is really important because it's actually happening on the west side. And there's a lot of reasons why they needed to do that. You know, even just people not being able to get over to Wailuku to testify in person, not having, you know, great connectability over there. People have lost computers and, you know, ways that they normally would come on to virtual meetings, all these things, but also just there's a lot of energy that needs to happen in an in-person meeting and will unfold. So that's at 9 a.m. at the Westin Resort and Spa at the Westin Maui on the west side. You know, we encourage you to go and testify if you can, people over there. Something of note and something interesting for those of you who've kind of been watching these things unfold and maybe been working with friends and family who've been affected by the fires. There are people who have not lost their home or their residence, but have not been able to return to their residence because it's in a forced evacuation area or it's surrounded by other residences that have been lost or whatever. And those homes, because they're still standing, or condos or whatever, have been they're still required to pay property taxes, pay their HOA fees, and their mortgages and all of these things, even though they're not able to use their homes and they're under forced evacuation or do not have access to utilities. So there were a lot of people who testified at this last meeting. I'm sure there will be a lot more on Wednesday, asking, what do we do? How are we supposed to manage this? How are we supposed to stay on top of these bills that keep piling up for a home that we're not even able to access? And I don't have the answer for that, but I think the public needs to be aware of that and maybe just contribute your voice to that concern. I do have a reminder, if you do not have access to your home or you do not have any of your utilities, which includes water or power, still, anytime it's over 5 days, you can make a claim to your homeowners or renters insurance for that loss. Also, FEMA is helping, assisting people who have that. So, you know, there is financial help for living expenses, the HOA and the property taxes and mortgage, those things that probably needs to be addressed. All right, and finally, there is a website called the Maui Community Investigation .com. So Maui Community of Investigation.com, and that's where there's a lot of investigating, interviewing, looking at data. Information is reposted about the fires, causes, effects, you know, different theories, different data that's come up through investigation, all these different things. And there are people out getting interviews with those who were evacuated or have experience with what happened during the wildfires. So it's a great website trying to just bring together all of this information and make it publicly available. It's a repository for the information. So we'll have a link to that on the Maui Pono Network.org website here on the email too, so you can go check that out. If you have something to contribute, that would be the place to contribute. And thank you to those of you who are putting that website together. Again, I'm Aja Eyre with Maui Pono Network. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being involved. Please let us know what you feel about these things, what comments you have on our Facebook page, on the website, or by email. And have a great week. Aloha.